Welcome to Lindemann Outdoors. Join Buckshot and Iceman Lindemann as they celebrate God's beautiful creation through fishing, hunting, and outdoor adventures. It's time to fill the freezer and enjoy the great outdoors the way it was meant to be.
The fancy deal, man. We're big leagues now.
You're very proud of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad thinks it needs a little reworking.
What does reworking mean?
Well, he doesn't like the wording I used.
Oh, okay.
He thinks I should redo it because I sound a little bit like Macho Man Randy Savage because I'm trying to sound.
You affected your voice a little bit?
Well, I didn't affect. I just was talking like Randy Macho Man. Just kind of be funny.
Yeah.
But,
No, I hear you.
He thinks it's cheesy, but I was going for cheesy.
Yeah.
So, but no. Lindemann Outdoors, we're here.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Brian Michaels. I work on KNOX, Leighton Media.
Huge celebrity.
Oh, please.
Huge celebrity.
Yes. I stop people on the street to tell them who I am. And
Yeah.
they're like, who is it? And why are you bothering me? And I get that a lot. But you're an avid fisherman. Have been for years.
Yep.
You're what? You're pretty. You're not 25 yet, are you?
I'm 24. Be 25 this summer.
The bucket list trips you've gone on, man, already.
Lived a very blessed life.
You really have. I mean, you're like in areas of Manitoba where I don't think those lakes have been fished.
No, we were.
I'm kidding, but pretty rare areas.
We talked about go Lake Athkapuskow, and we recently, me and my fiance and our two foster kids, we were watching a polar bear show, and they're in like Hudson Bay, and they showed like Manitoba, like where the polar bears are, and I paused it and I was like, oh yeah, here's where I was fishing, and here's where the polar bears are.
Oh God, you're that north.
Yeah. The polar bears come south for like the big seal run every year. Very great documentary, actually.
Oh no, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Creatures. You want to stay away from them, mostly.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
You didn't see any when you were up there fishing, did you?
No, I did see caribou. We had caribou swim right next to the boat. We had a mama and a calf swim like you could touch it, but we didn't. Usually it's kind of told to just leave them alone, and they do their thing.
Where are they in the size of like an elk? Or they're bigger than a deer? They're smaller than an elk?
Yeah, they're smaller than an elk. They're not as tall as elk. They're about like, elk are huge.
Yeah.
I mean, elk are like, I think people like, I don't even know how to compare it, but like moose are ginormous. People don't really understand how big moose are. Moose are bigger than minivans. And then elk are like giant cows, like as big as a cow. And I think caribou are just a little shorter.
Yeah.
But they're still like, they're way bigger than a mule deer. They're probably like, I don't know. They're probably like, should Google that.
Might Google that. Get on the Google. Imagine if there was a device you had in your pocket that you could ask it questions and it'll be the right answer. But both you and I, we have trips to Winnipeg. My first, you've been up there several times.
I've been up there every year since I was 16.
What about, so a lot of fishing opportunities around you. You got
there's Devil's Lake. There's the Missouri River.
Missouri, Lake of the Woods.
There's
Kakawea. I mean, all the Minnesota lakes we have access to. Oh, yeah, Red Lake is here. Bemidji, even in that area. There's
a bunch of small ones.
Leech.
I mean, the Detroit Lakes area, there's a million.
It's insane how much. But people always say, I've got to go to Winnipeg. So this trip fell into my lap. I didn't plan it. I got a phone call. A guy dropped out, and they're like, hey, you want to come? I'm like, yeah. And now I'm buying baits because I don't have some of the stuff I need. And you're kind of guiding me along with that, helping me out with, you need this, you need that. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm only going to spend $100. I'm already there. And I was looking at rods last night. I mean, God,
you need a stiff rod.
I do have two that are medium heavy.
Yeah, that's what we use, medium heavies.
Medium heavies, okay.
We like the little bit longer ones.
What, 32s?
Yeah, 32, 36.
Oh, okay.
Have in there.
Even in a shack, because I'm in a...
Well, we use the otter flip over. That's kind of our main one, and we just drill the holes.
Yeah, so you can custom that.
Yeah, you just drill the holes farther away from you.
Yeah.
But back on our caribou, I was right. I was seeing this. An average bull, it's like the male ones, 350 to 400 pounds.
God, that's enormous.
Yeah, they're big. An average, if a big whitetail is like 250, I think it's as big as they can get. Especially maybe in Iowa, they get a little bigger.
Farm fed, or if they're raised, maybe. But yeah,
I've heard of the
it's a big critter.
300-pound whitetail,
Yeah.
but I think it's a bunch of bull. But no, Winnipeg it's its own beast. I think people don't understand how big it is. Like everyone fishes in this like southern little bay by the river, or the Red River goes in there. That's where like everyone fishes. But there is just, I don't even know how big it is. It's huge.
You see it on the map, and you're like,
it's like half of Manitoba.
What do you call it? You call it the Big Windy.
Big Windy is what they call it.
Because that wind just sweeps down that prairie. In Manitoba, just like it is here in the Red River Valley, it's super flat up there.
Yeah. If you get a north wind coming down off that big lake, oof.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I can't keep a thought in my head about this trip, you know? I mean, if you could do a pie chart of my brain right now, it'd be like 10% just to kind of breathe and get to work. And then the other 90% is Winnipeg and what lure I need next. Wow. And I don't even care if I catch fish. I think I will.
You will.
But I mean, just breaking the seal that first time, you know?
The first time I went, you know, we didn't go with a guy. We went with like our buddy Scott Johnson. Shout out Scott Johnson. He's been out there a couple of times before, and I was like our first time going, and we went just kind of like, you know, like kind of go in the shallow, like 8 feet, you know, like where the usual walleyes hang out. And my dad was drilling holes, and he's like, well, you just start fishing. I was using just a gold, just a big flutter spoon, buckshot kind of thing. And I was just catching 18, 19s left, like every time I'm down the hole. And I had caught both our limits in like 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't anything big, and there are big ones. In that trip, we caught, I think, 6 over 26.
Yeah, that's just insane.
The food supply is so good. There's so much bait fish in that lake, and the river flows in there, so it's well circulated, super clean lake. It's just, there's tons of food.
Can you use live bait?
I think if you buy it there, you can. I'm pretty sure you can't. I'm pretty sure that's the rule. Right. We don't bring any bait in because down Canada's new. It's a new thing. The last couple of years, they've said no more bringing in live or frozen bait. But when you go to the shops, all the bait shops they have, you can buy bait.
What can you keep?
The slot?
Yeah. I would imagine they have a slot. And can you keep a big fish? You got to set those guys back.
So, what I believe the rule is in Manitoba, which I always check, always have your book on. Yeah. But usually the slots, it goes from like, I think 14 to 19 and a half. But we always try and keep, the 16, 17. Those are the best eating fish.
And they do it with centimeters too.
Yeah. They do both. They have both out there because they know a lot of Americans fish. But you can have 1 over 22 you can keep is the rule. But it's still like 4 or 6. I think it's 4 now. They changed it to 4.
Okay.
It used to be 6, which was why we fished when we lived in Roseau. Why we fished the Canadian side, like the woods, because you keep 2 more fish. Because Minnesota was always 4. And now it was 6. Yeah. But I think it's 4 both ways now. But I mean, 4 fish is a lot.
It is, and they're of size.
Yeah.
It sounds like almost the rare ones are the smaller ones.
Some days when you're trying to catch your eaters, I always keep the first eaters you get and fillet them and freeze them to bring home. Then you can catch your ones to eat during the day and stuff. But it's just, sometimes you're getting tired of catching 23s. You'll get 21s and 23s, just like, oh, it's another 22. Which,
right? And another 22.
That's what's so crazy about.
Yeah. You like get sick and tired of catching a 22-inch fish. That's a good day.
It's a good day.
Yeah, it's a good day.
And then last year, the weather was beautiful. We've had a couple of years where, like, it was windy, it was cold. You're in your house just hunkered down. But then last year, I was sitting there I took my sweatshirt off. So there's a long sleeve and my bibs, and it was hole hopping, and we were just really great weather, just catching fish. And yeah, we didn't catch any 30s, but we had a couple 27s, we had 26s, a lot of 23s, and those are fun to catch and in the Lake Winnipeg fish, they fight hard. The greenbacks.
Well, they're darting after bait fish, and they're kind of a combo
aggressive.
They're kind of a combo river lake fish because you're right at the mouth. There's current. They're always fighting that.
Even the little ones, they just smack your bait. I mean, we just bought a live scope and all these things. I'm like, half the time you don't even see it come in on your chart. It just hits you.
Now, what's funny with you and your dad? You showed me these images.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if you can tell this. I'm a normal sized dude.
Yeah, we're Lindemans. We're bred a little bigger.
I'm 6'1", over 200 pounds, clearly. But you're north of there and a little heavier than that. But when you guys are
6'4", 315.
when you're showing me pictures of, this is your dad was holding like a 32.5 inch fish, which is a freaking monster.
Oh, when it came out of the hole, I was like, I didn't know what kind of fish it was.
But he's a big dude too. I think he's as tall as you.
He's about like half an inch shorter.
But he's a big dude, and he's holding it. It looks like a 25-inch fish. You guys messed the scale up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you could be holding a 29-inch fish. You're like, that's a nice, cute little fish. 26, that's great. Good for you.
Yeah.
But no, it's 29 because you're big dudes.
Yeah.
So you screw this.
We measure fish with our hands because this is like, 10 inches across. You measure crappies like that.
Yeah.
If they're bigger than our hands, then they're good slabs. You throw them in the bucket.
I do a little of that. I should probably measure my hands.
Yeah.
Bigger than your hand. But hopefully, now my expectation level's super high.
Well, I don't want to I mean, it's my favorite trip of the year. And we only go once a year. We want to go more, but we always go we're going at the same time.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, end of March.
Yep.
So
I'm 20th. I think you're 21 through whatever. You're longer too. I'm a day and a half. But 2 days.
We go you need a day to find them. The first day is always trying to find the fish. And then, like last year, we had this problem. The first day we found them. We were catching, and the big ones were around. And the 30s and stuff are rare, but they're way less rare compared to other lakes. Like Lake of the Woods, like you catch a 30, probably once a season. Like Winnipeg, probably catch a 30 once a week. If you're there for a week, you're gonna hit them. They're there.
And there's and there's people you talk to bait. They help out. The Canadians are nice people.
Well, honestly, I mean, what's crazy is a lot of the Canadians, they just they keep a lot of stuff, and then the natives, they can keep whatever.
Yeah.
There's no limit on them. So you'll go out there and you'll find, a lot of times what we do,
you'll see evidence.
You'll see just fish carcasses everywhere.
Okay.
And you're like couple,
here's a spot,
30, 40 fish carcasses, and you'll see a big 31 cut up. And you're like, geez, so I guess this is the spot. We fished on carcass piles and you're catching fish.
Yeah.
And it's very shallow lake. It takes we'll be fishing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of yards from shore, and it's 8 feet.
So we're in 27, I guess, is what I'm getting, is what we're going to be in. Okay. So
that's midday is gonna be good.
Okay. But then they like to go up in the shallows and feast on the fish and stuff.
We start we always go we're gonna go driving out in the sleds. We go snowmobiles, kind of hardcore.
Yeah, you guys do the hole hopping bit.
Yeah.
You guys do the real ice fishing. I like to sit in a cabin where it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
Now, there are different rules up there.
There is.
No drinking apparently on the lake.
No.
How do they really enforce that? Is that loosey goosey? Is that kind of look the other way? I mean,
our group, we wait till we get home to the cabin.
All right.
Our group's a little serious about fishing, which is I like to have fun with fishing, but our group is we're on a mission, which is kind of because I want to film it. Yeah. It's kind of hard to film it sometimes because we're just you
got to put the beer down and it's. Look, it's a Molson. I'm in Canada. It's so great.
We're moving so much. We'll give a spot 20, 30 minutes. If we're not catching fish, we're gone.
Yeah. You do that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're set up for it.
Yeah, we are. We have a house, an otter flip over just for Lake Winnipeg. It's set up now. We get it ready around Christmas time. I mean, my Jeremy, the Iceman is what we call him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just cold-blooded.
The Iceman cometh, does he?
He does.
Yeah.
Because he kills deer. Just crazy. He doesn't get buck fever. He doesn't get hyped up. I get very hyped up. I get very buck fever. I always miss a deer first while bow hunting, and then the next shot's good. That's why.
So the nerves get to you.
Then I've missed, and same with turkeys. The last two turkeys get me more riled up than deer.
That's coming up.
Turkey season's coming up, which is always our Lake Winnipeg is kind of our last hurrah of ice fishing. It's the big trip.
Yeah.
You're going up there. It's a whole excursion. So that's kind of where we settled down. We start getting the turkey stuff out. But no, it's rules up there are different. The game wardens are on you.
They are. The conservation officers or whatever they are.
Game and fish. That's game and fish what they call it.
Licensing, I haven't even done that. I got to get that done. That's online. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, you can have it on your phone, which is nice because then they'll
accept that.
Because you get a PDF.
All right.
And I always just screenshot it and keep it on my phone. Mm-hmm. And that way it's just easier. And then I like to I don't like to bring my wallet out there, and it's a big lake. If you drop something, you're not finding it.
No, probably not.
Yeah, there's plenty.
Well, you're on a snow machine too. You're all bouncing around.
We're full suited up, helmets.
Have you ever lost a phone down the hole?
I've never lost a phone. I always have a pop socket.
Okay.
Which is nice because
you can hold it like that.
You can grip it. I've never, because I usually have it zipped up.
Okay.
In
your bibs.
Yeah, but pop sockets are nice. My dad's got something similar, but this is the way to go for hunting and fishing.
What piece of equipment? You got the bibs. You do that, but you're a running and gunning guy.
Yeah.
You'll probably never own an ice castle because that's just sitting on the dock and
we had
fishing
for a while. I never personally fished in it. I only camped in it. It's great for camping.
Yeah.
But it's heavy. And then the years we had it was those years probably 10 years ago now where you just got 4 feet of snow every year.
Yeah, and it's a pain.
And then
you need a plow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used it more for camping, so we just sold it and bought a pop-up camper.
Yeah.
Those are the way to go.
Pop-ups, bing bam, they're a little lighter.
They're so light.
Yeah.
And you can just haul them with anything.
No, but ice fishing has exploded. You're 24. I remember, going back 24, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
The gear we have now, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
the rods, everything, the technology, the tackle available. It used to be pretty rudimentary stuff.
Yep.
You remember the old stick with the nail in it thing? You ever seen one of those?
Stick with a nail in it.
So you get a stick.
Yep.
It's got 2 pegs on it, and that's where you wrap your...
Oh, the old school.
And then there's a nail on the end of it, and you stick that in the ice, and then you do the thing.
Yep.
And then you drop the deal, and you got the bobber and the whole thing, and that was your ice fishing gear.
Yeah.
And you'd pretty much hand pull everything.
Yeah.
But you still had the bobber. You could catch fish that way.
Tip up.
Oh, God. Oh, it's super rudimentary. Absolutely it is. Tip ups. Do you guys do much tip up action in Winnipeg?
We always have a tip up on Winnipeg.
Okay.
And we'll buy the big stinky shiners or the suckers because we're hoping to catch a big one on those. We've caught a bunch of eaters on those actually. You'd be surprised. And it's kind of some days they only hit the dead sticks, the bobbers, which we always have. I always have a jigging rod and a bobber. And then we usually save one, as a group, one of us won't, because you get 2 rods apiece.
It's okay, thank you.
Yeah. So one of us will just fish with 1 rod, and we'll have,
you'll have
as a group, we have 1 tip up set away from us. We find, some sort of structure. We'll put it out there, and hopefully. But we haven't caught anything huge on a tip up yet. Always have one out there. But
what piece of kit is a must-have for you when you go ice fishing? Clearly the bibs, that's kind of standard. You're just going to have that. But there's something that you kind of have that you're like, hey, here's a little bit of insight on the ice that you should probably have because it's come in handy. Put you on the spot here.
Yeah. No, honestly, a good GPS.
Oh, okay.
Especially
separate of your gizmo. Because a lot of fish finders have them.
We have them. We take our ones off our boat, in the summertime, the track gears, and we have them. We have mounts on that we drilled into our snowmobiles up on the graph that we'll go and we'll take that one off the boat and we'll put it on the snowmobile. Because if you don't trace especially for us, if you don't trace your way out there,
oh God,
it's such a big lake that if you get a little ground blizzard,
your tracks are gone.
You can't see shore.
And all lights from a lake look the same.
Yeah, and a compass is always. I always have a compass in my sled. I have a couple emergency items because Winnipeg's, it'll break your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very intense lake. No one should take it lightly. If you want to do it, go with a guide the first time. If you're not used to ice fishing and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to Winnipeg and catch these monsters. Maybe get a guide. They know what they're doing.
It's not when. It's not if. It's when it breaks.
Yeah.
Have you had a big snowmobile breakdown ever?
Yeah.
You guys have had that? Tracks come off or something? Or
no. So my dad's got this, I call it a snow assault vehicle. It's got a 600 IQ wide track. And the thing's not even a snowmobile. It's just an assault vehicle.
It's like a couch with
the suspension is so good on his, and it's fuel injected, so it just hauls. And he's sitting there. He'll be on his phone checking the charts. And he'll be having this chart and this chart, and he's just driving, and just I'm over there in the X Games, bouncing around,
feeling everything.
We have a 600 just because, ice fishing. Sometimes there's sketchy ice. We like to go fast over sketchy ice.
Yeah.
Never go slow.
Yeah.
Full speed. Yep, you're gone. It's
Oh,
fine.
gravity doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Stay above it.
Well, there's been times we've had to drive on water.
That you do see those. I've seen those videos online. People do.
That's why I like a fast sled.
Yeah, they rip it up a little bit on that.
Which-
Turns into a jet ski.
Not his sled is heavy, but it's got so much power that he hauls the otter and he doesn't even feel it. Because usually you can kind of feel your sled behind you, not with his sled. And he's water skipped good probably 20, 30 yards and pulling a sled behind him. He just floors it and he just drives on like normal.
So Dad, well, you know what? Dad's earned it. You know, he's going to have he's got the Cadillac.
He does have the Cadillac.
That's the deal. Let's let the son have. That's the old one you got, right? That he had, probably.
Well, no, we just recently bought me a newer one, but I had an old, like a 90s. I had a 440.
Do they? So that was
like
an Arctic.
No, it was a Polaris.
Okay. Well, you're from.
We're always Polaris.
Yeah.
I'm from Roseau.
Yeah, I get it.
Got to have a Polaris.
Understand. So, so with those machines like that, are manufacturers like a Polaris or I can mention other ones, but I won't. Just Polaris. Do they make one specifically for? Hey, this is an ice fishing utility type deal.
Yeah,
they do make one. Or
but
you guys probably modified them though too a little bit.
We do modify them a bunch. What we do, but Polaris, they have one called the Titan.
Okay.
That's like pretty much ice fishing. It's got a big box. It's got the wide track. Okay. It's got all the works. It's got the hitch. It's got a box. It's got a little cage, and that thing's a unit.
How long's that been out?
Oh, they came out with the Titan probably 5 years ago, but they redo it.
Yeah, every year. But I'm just thinking for used market. You know,
Skidoo has like I think it's called like the Expedition or. It's like one of all the guides use, especially up in the angle and stuff. That's just like a rig.
Yeah.
Wide tracks are mainly used for like your labor snowmobiling.
Okay.
You know, they're not really for just ripping around ditches.
You say wide, you don't mean necessarily the skis. You mean the actual track.
The track
itself
is wider.
Well, when you say that, is it like another foot wider than like a normal one?
I would say it's like. I know there's people are gonna be upset that I don't know the exact dimensions.
No, that's fine.
But I think it's like because I know like I have a normal track and his is like my track and a half, so it's like probably like 6-7 inches wider.
All right,
and it's big and it's like what's crazy about those is they don't stay on top of the snow. They just go through it, and they don't get stuck. Doesn't matter. They just go through it.
All that grippy surface area.
Yeah, and then we got. Well, a lot of times because we go late March, a lot of the snow is melted on Lake Winnipeg. So I think, you know, the best equipment is you got to have a rigged system. If you're hole hopping, you got to have a good sled or a 4-wheeler rigged out to haul all your stuff and be mobile. That's what we like to do is be mobile. So if you have a setup that you can be the most mobile with, then I think that's what's best. But
have you done this with the live scope yet?
No.
So that you just got live scope.
Got it.
Okay.
So this will be our first year with the live scope, and we've always just used the Go Fish, like the Onyx one, but there's one that's like a U.S. Canada Marine, and it's got all the lakes on there, and you can't just we bought Canada. It's like it's like $10, and it's like a Lake Master chip on your phone. And so we'll go in and we'll find little structure points or things off the river.
They should be here.
Yeah, they should be here.
Yeah.
And then you find them with the Vexlar. And that's what's nice about hole hopping is you're like, okay, they're not here. Let's go a little shallower, go a little deeper, you know. But it's a lot about finding. And once you find them, then it's game on.
Yeah.
Then you're trying every bait you got, trying to get the big ones. And okay, this one, the little ones like this one. And
how many times you've been checked by Game and Fish up there? They buzz your tower every now and again.
I think we've only been checked twice
for license, and they check the barbs too, because that's another thing.
That's a big thing in Canada is the barbs, pinch your barbs.
But you were telling me at the bait shops when you buy a bait from up there, which is probably smart to do. They're not pinched.
Well, it's because they're not made there.
Yeah, but you'd think you could put an order in on that. I've even gone online and looked for barbless stuff. It's not a lot of makers of it.
No, we always have a pliers. You just pinch them.
Just pinch them down. So I'll end up doing that. But that doesn't, you don't think you've lost a fish as a result of that?
No, you do have to know how to handle a fish.
Yeah, just keep tension.
Yeah, you keep tension. You have your rod tip up. The bend of the fishing rod is what does the work.
Yeah.
Especially ice fishing. A lot of people are just straining, I've seen them put their tips in.
I've seen that too.
You keep it up like this, and you just reel. If it's gonna pull, it's gonna pull. You let them pull. But no, I think it's a big thing. I think they should just make barbless hooks because it does a fish and especially Winnipeg fish, they inhale the baits. Again, sometimes they're just in their guts.
You would think it would help with mortality.
It does very much.
I would think it would.
Up the gills.
Yeah.
It really, I think
they are. But barbs are a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
they really. I mean, even a small fish, you're like, you get it there.
After fishing Canada, we pinch all our barbs because just found it's nicer.
Yeah, even open water.
Yeah,
spinners.
Well, it's
when you think to.
Yeah,
maybe.
And by now it's if you're doing bottom bouncers and spinners and stuff, but we also fish in Canada a lot too.
Yeah, you kind of bounce between them.
Yeah, but now we're in kind of North Dakota, South Dakota boys. Where we only pinch them unless we're going to Canada. Yeah. But we have this is how insane we are. We have a tackle box that's just for Winnipeg.
Oh, really?
Yep. And it's got bobber baits. We got one box. That's just rip and wraps a certain size. And my dad's crazy. Every time he goes somewhere, he's got
you have to.
Oh, he'll take the hook off the rack. He'll just take the whole thing. If he finds a certain color that works.
Oh, really?
We buy them all.
Because he'll take it off the pegboard.
Yeah, take it off the pegboard.
That's funny. That's
just dump it into his cart, put the peg back on, and
that's funny.
Is that
what the garage looks like? You got a pegboard with freaking brand new lures in there?
That's exactly what it is.
That's funny.
In his basement, he's got a pegboard.
I thought I was bad.
And he's hanging. He's got lures that we don't even use yet because. Yeah. When you find a good color, sometimes they stop making colors for who knows why. So we have the old Fire Tiger, Chartreuse. Yeah. We have
the Shields and Cabela's call you when they're out of stuff.
They may have to in the future.
That's funny.
But now there's in a lot of the bait shops up in Canada, they have, they'll have kind of local stuff that you're like, well, that would never work. And the guy's like, no, you probably should pick one of those up, and it's the one thing that works.
You said bobber baits or bobber lure. I mean, what would that be? Are you just putting a spoon down there? Or are you putting is it bare hook?
Sometimes we have these ones. I figure there's some weird name for them. It's like Gamagatsu or something.
Okay, that hook, yeah.
But it's like a little octopus. What I think it looks like. It's got 4 of them, and it's and it glows in the dark. And we'll put a minnow head on there if they're being finicky one day. Otherwise we have ones that are it looks like a tiny little jig, like a normal jig, but it'll be flat and it'll have a little red dot on top or a green dot on top, and it glows and different colors. We put a minnow on there.
So you'll go small. I mean, that sounds panfish.
They're it's very panfish like.
Yeah.
And if they're being finicky, the big ones I've noticed, they're either, doesn't matter what you have, they're taking all 4 of your lines. They're just mussing you up. They're hitting you hard. Or they're just very finicky. Because sometimes they're full, sometimes they're not. And
a lot of food
you got to work them.
Line. I'm a braid guy. I'll do a little bit. I'll do a leader. A floral leader. What do you
doesn't seem to matter up
doesn't
there.
Seem okay.
They're so aggressive.
But braid or mono? I mean, mono for... I figure in shallow maybe with mono because you're in, say, 15 feet of water.
Yeah.
That braid, you can... The mono's got a little stretch. It might help with the fight. I don't know.
Yeah, we do a lot of fire line, a lot of mono. We'll do a braid with a mono filament leader.
Okay.
Especially we've kind of done that more now, fishing South Dakota. Above there, we just want heavy fire line. That's usually that green stuff. Because the water is very it's clear, but it's got that kind of
green tinge to it.
And that's what makes them green.
Yeah.
And it's limestone on the bottom. So usually we got those, and the big ones where it's the green or the clear.
Okay.
But they're so aggressive in that lake, doesn't matter.
So you'll tie your bait with probably a little
crank snap,
because you're easy, quick out, and it makes it, I think, work a little better. Anyway, you'll do that directly to your fire line.
Yeah.
And so you're not okay. So all right. So I was thinking of that. I was looking at one. I've got some 10-pound Suffolks,
and
I'm like, maybe I'll string one up with some mono.
Yeah. I don't seem to do the difference, and I'll be honest. My dad's the one that experiments with all that stuff. So he's like, I got your new rod. I'm like, okay. You know, I've had a really good guide my entire life.
Yeah.
He makes my arrows. He gets my rod set up. I have a very blessed life.
Yes. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
He likes it as much as you do.
Oh, well, you know, that's the thing. That's why me and my dad are so close is, you know, other kids were getting, I don't even know what for Christmas, but I was like, hey, I think I need a new Vexlar.
Well,
you know, wouldn't it be nice?
It's the FL38 or whatever number they're on now. I don't even know.
I've had the 12 since I think I was like 13 or 14 because we used to share his.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a nice, like I think he got a 28 or something, the wider cone, so you can kind of see both. And I was like, wouldn't it be nice if like we had our own?
Just imagine,
and we could just like spread out and hop, and we could really kill the fish.
We could really cover a lot more area.
You know, I learned the system.
Yeah.
Young as a kid, that
the suggestion.
Yeah, like
the what if.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Imagine a day.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? They seem like, and I watch a lot of videos like you do online, YouTube, outdoor stuff, or even on TV.
Yeah.
Those people just rack on these Vexies. They pick them up.
They're tough.
The deucers just behind them. They're just pulling it through the ice. They don't care.
I'm a little nicer with that, but they're tough. I've had mine probably 10 years now.
Anything changed out on it, or still?
I think we replaced the battery once.
Well, the battery, that's going to go.
Nothing else have changed.
The deucer's still fine.
Deucer's still fine. Everything works.
People just rack on them. They're tough. You know, you see they're bringing a fish up and they pull the deucer out.
Oh, we did. Yeah,
and they just throw it. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, tone it down, guys. I mean, be nice to your gear.
I mean, now that we have like, you know, the whatever, the live scope, we'll probably, you drill a separate hole for that thing. It's a whole thing that goes down there. So we'll do that. But well, honestly, I think we're just going to use that to find the fish. And once we're on the spot, you know, some people say it affects them.
You know, it's funny you say that because I was just talking to a guy named Kyle Blanchard. Yep. He owns Woodland Resort, and he's an avid fisherman and stuff like that. And I kind of talked to him about that on the air today because on KNOX. And he said, you know, there's some guides that think it throws a pretty big signal down there.
It does, which it has to because it's getting a lot of data.
Yeah, it is. And it's getting that return.
It's the fact that you can see the fish swim. You can see him do this, and you can see him you can see him tilt up and turn away.
And you can almost ID the fish.
Oh yeah, you can.
You're pretty good.
And that's why they're
turn around for Christ's sakes.
And then they have a little grid on there. You can see how big the fish is. Like, oh, well, I know I'm only looking at 10 feet of water here. So that thing's covering two little squares. That's a 24-inch fish.
It's a big fish.
You know,
you can. It's a video game. It's super cool. But a lot of some of these guys, they'll find them.
Yep. And then you just
turn them off, go punch holes, drop the Vexie.
Yeah. That's what I think. That's what Jason Mitchell does. That's what a lot of these guys do. And that's why I think it is. And I think it'd be better used in like summer fishing because you're moving them around more. But ice fishing, I think you should just find them. And you're going to use it probably. It's fun. But it's also very irritating. You're jigging, you see a fish come up.
Oh, it is.
And then it just goes, no.
It doesn't want it.
You're like, ugh. With the Vexar, you just see a little line. And like, I guess it was.
Yeah. The rejection is much
worse.
Yeah, it is with live scope.
The live scope.
Other versions too. I was in a shack recently. We had a live scope in ours, and then the other one had the Lowrance. He just got the Lowrance.
Like Eagle Eye.
Or whatever. Very similar setup. I mean, but what he had, the Lowrance, is I go into that shack, and all those guys had like their little iPad or whatever.
Yep.
And they got the app.
Yep.
And he tied them all in. And then, of course, he positioned the transducer to where you're looking at the whole thing.
Yep.
And those guys, nobody was talking to each other.
No.
They're just all transfixed. You're looking at their bait, seeing fish come in.
What's crazy about it, as we've talked about this before, is that we were using my cousin's, a Colt, and he had one first.
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me. And we were fishing this spot, and it was cold, so we weren't going to move in. We set up the house. We were just sitting there in the double hub. We were all fishing together, and we're like, yep, the fish are really coming in 16 feet over there. You could see them. You could see, like, there's a little bit of structure over there. Well, that's what's going to be nice about this year on Lake Winnipeg. And we got a bigger group going this year, so I think we'll be able to really pinpoint them. We're going to be like, we fish in a spot, and you just, like, turn it. Oh, look at there's a rock and a or a stump over there. These fish are really sitting around.
They won't show up on a map. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
And, and stuff moves.
Yeah.
And Lake Winnipeg's such a big lake that a tree floats in or a boat sinks.
Yeah. No.
One time we were driving out there and we found a snowmobile carcass that had burnt.
Oh, really?
The caught on fire was just the metal frame, just melted down to the ice. I was like, geez, hope they're okay.
Yeah.
There's no body next to it. So
I
think they're fine.
You've read about it, maybe not.
I just drove past it.
So, but yeah, that's on the bottom now.
Yeah.
Attracting fish. That's where walleyes are hanging out.
Oh, yeah. Any piece of structure, because, they're an ambush predator,
yep.
as my dad always says, because he's the smart one. I'm just the kid that is better.
Yeah, why is it drop-offs, that whole thing? They hang out underneath there, and they're like, oh, look at that.
A bait fish swims over, and that's, if you can set up on one of those.
Which is bizarre to me, because I think walleye are some of the laziest fish on the planet. I mean,
I think they're the laziest, but most aggressive.
When they turn on.
When they hit hard,
they're pacing themselves.
Yeah, they're not like a pike that is just going.
I love pike for that.
Eating everything they see.
They don't care.
No.
They're not ever off. They're always on. There's no off switch on a pike.
You throw a paper clip out there, though.
Have you caught a muskie?
I've never caught a muskie.
Open water?
I've been where the muskies are. I've always caught pike. I've caught some really big pike.
All right.
Caught 40, 45s. Never a muskie.
Lake trout?
Yes.
How cool. How deep water were you? And was that Lake of the Woods?
So I've gone Lake Athacapuskow, way up there. Okay. And we were fishing 200-300 feet of water. I've also been on Lake Michigan. We were catching salmon and lake trout.
You got riggers.
We went with a guide.
You dropped the lead. And...
They had 19 rods out.
Oh, God.
And there would be one, and you grab it and you start reeling, and then he'd tell you stop, so you can take the down rigger or the planer board. And that was
the planer board.
The planer boards, get it out 50 feet that way. And we were like 1,000 feet.
Good God.
I was like, this water's really clear. Great. Lake Michigan's so clear. Yeah. What's crazy though, at the docks, there'll be just probably 60-inch lake trout sitting under the dock.
60?
Monsters.
For spawn? What do they come up that shallow? They just
because all the guides, they're gutting their fish and they just drop a bit in the water.
They're like seagulls.
And they gave me a rod, like a little one to try and catch it, but there's how many guides are on that lake, gutting fish and throwing the guts in the water. And they throw the guts in the water because there's fish right there that's gonna eat them, and the birds eat them and stuff. But it's just like I saw one, I was like, oh my, that thing's got to be
state record,
probably.
I mean, it's enormous.
And like where we went fishing Lake Athacapuskow, I think we caught a 36-incher that was they get thick. It was like 30 pounds.
Oh, it's a 30-pound fish. Okay.
It was just so fat. And they have I think the world record lake trout was cut out of that lake. There was some old guy in a 14-foot lund, and he's holding it. It looks like a sturgeon.
Oh my God.
It's so big. He's can't even hold it. It's his whole body. It's huge.
I've never done that through the ice. That looks like some of the coolest YouTube videos you see because they burp.
We went there in the summer, so we weren't there in the ice.
Okay.
But I've always wanted to.
No, they're a beast, and they're strong. They're in that, I don't know, family. They're a trout, but salmon are obviously very similar in looks and fight.
Yeah, there's where is it? This guy. I mean, stuff like that.
Oh, that's insane. That's insane.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard to get, but yeah, that's a big fish.
I'll throw that up there.
You guys would make it look small, you and your dad posing with it. It'd be a world record.
Yeah,
be like, hey, don't look that big.
Lake trout. It's just crazy. I think the world record, maybe it's been broken now, but those fish get huge.
Yeah, they do.
I think they're I don't know if they're different than salmon. I don't know if lake trout die every year.
I don't know.
No, that's just salmon.
Yeah,
ocean
they
salmon.
swim up.
I don't know if a lake salmon.
Well, we have Chinooks here, so that's Chinook's a king. We have them in the state of North Dakota. We have them in Sakakawea.
And there's salmon in Sakakawea?
Yeah, and they stock it.
Okay,
but they don't die.
No.
every year.
I think it's just the ocean one.
Yeah.
Like,
They go
swim up.
They go up the river, and then they turn. Well, the reds turn.
Yeah.
They get weird looking. They start to decompose from inside out.
My dad went to Alaska and did that. That was like, I never, I had to.
He's with the Bears.
I was playing football, so I had to go.
Yeah.
I had to go to practice at 4 a.m. He was getting up at 4 a.m. to go catch.
That's another trip.
So that's on my bucket list as well. I've always wanted to catch a lake trout through the ice. That's why I want to do that. But what's crazy though is that he was talking about is that when a bear comes, that he was with some buddies that you just because you have that belt that like sits in the water, holds all your fish. He's like, just unhook your belt, just walk away. The bears won't bother you. Just give them your fish. So you see a bear, you just unhook your belt of the fish. You just walk away from your pile of fish.
Yeah, I think I would too.
The bear, you just let the bears have it. You'll catch more.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah, that's what they say. You'll be fine. Just let him.
He'll take care of those.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a limit. You do, right? So let him eat your limit. Maybe there's bigger ones for you. I would easily do that.
He was using a spinner rod, 5 of diamonds treble hook.
Okay.
They use for like catching pike in the river.
Like a red devil?
Yeah.
It's a spoon.
Yeah, a spoon.
Okay.
Yeah, like a big treble hook on it. And he was catching them like crazy. And all the fly fishermen were mad at him.
Oh, yeah. They get weird about that.
And he was like,
I've never done that, and good for them, but
burnt through 2 reels.
Oh, God. Because of
he brought 2 because they said bring 2 in case one breaks. So they're like huge fish. And he burnt through one in like a couple of days. And luckily he had the next one. And then
he burnt the brake on it.
Oh, it was done.
Ate the little discs or whatever.
Yeah, it was just the gears and stuff. It was just done.
See, that's a good day. You can't be mad about that.
Yeah.
But with lake trout for you, I mean, you're from Roseau, so you've been to Lake of the Woods hundreds. That's your home lake.
Yeah.
Have you
never gone that far north to catch lake trout?
Because you can.
I've gone up to Nestor Falls to catch crappie, which that's a fun trip, but never, you can go far enough north of there's lake trout. I've never done it, but
you kind of know where it is, though.
Yeah.
Where it gets deeper. It's got to be, 70-ish? Because Lake of the Woods not super deep.
No, especially in the southern part.
Yeah.
Well, you get in the angle, there's 100, 200-foot holes.
Any lake trout up there in the angle?
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't even know?
I don't know. I've always just been.
We're all over the place, every species, But Lake Winnipeg, at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to it, and it hopefully more trips in the future. But
no, it's fun. It's an experience.
And I don't want to go up there and not have the gear or the color. So that's why I'm going to bring my stuff in. You can look at it and go, oh, you kind of have a gap here.
Well, I mean, the thing though is like it kind of varies. So one year it was that chrome blue.
Yeah.
If you had blue, you were catching them. Last year was a lot of the blue worked in the cloudy days, which I learned this from Jason Mitchell because I'm a smart man. If I know someone who's very good at fishing, and they posted a Lake Winnipeg video the week before I go, and they go, "Hey, it's cloudy. We're going to use these ones." I'm going to use those ones.
Well, what's the rule? Is it some really high contrast, like your oranges and your greens for clouds, and then metallics when it's sunny? That's what I've heard.
He told they're saying like the chrome blues and a little in the cloudy days, and when it comes sunny, you can start using those golds and those colors. But I don't know. To be honest, I mean, we were catching them on that Wonder Bread. Last year. That was the lure last year was the Wonder Bread. My dad was out fishing everybody with the Wonder Bread.
Oh, really?
Of course, we only had one.
Why would you need 2 when you have one? I have one Wonder Bread spoon-ish kind of looking thing.
He's not here, so I can talk a little trash on him. He'll do that where he'll
got a secret one.
He's got some secret ones that he'll just like have in his pocket.
Yeah,
and he'll be sitting there. And he's like, "Oh yeah,
maybe
jig up a little bit."
Maybe the tables need to turn. Maybe you go up there with some secret ones.
I got one this year. That's like I haven't seen one. It's a little fire tiger rip and wrap. I'm like,
He's gonna see this.
Oh, he already knows.
Okay, all right.
Because I use it on South Dakota. I was catching.
Oh, okay.
I can't. I feel like if I found one, I'm like, ooh, he's never seen this before. He's got 10 of them.
Bring it.
He's like, oh yeah, I bought those last year. Like last year, I didn't know they came out.
Bring up the super secret Swedish pimple. You won't see that one coming. You've seen that.
He's probably got 4 or 5.
Oh, yeah. I got about 30 of them.
Yeah.
If you look at a guy's tackle box like mine, especially with Swedish pimples, we nailed them on perch in South Dakota.
Yep.
Probably not too terribly far from where you fish.
Yep.
On a lake there years ago. Probably caught it was a stupid number of perch, and it just hammered them, and it was on Swedish pimple.
Yep.
So I had to get the whole collection.
Yeah.
I mean, some are still in the package.
Yeah. Back on Lake Winnipeg, I was like those wingdings from clam. Those whatever the wing.
The little flat. Okay, the guy.
It looks like a spoon.
Yeah.
It's like an upside down spoon, and then that's like I call it the golf ball. It's probably there's real terms for these things. I don't know them. I just it looks like golf ball dented into there, and then it's got the two little like flappers off.
And they actuate.
I think. Well, I know because like the spoon will flutter when it goes. You pull it up and it spins and it comes down. It twirls.
Yeah.
I think those are just kind of like extra. But I think they like that little extra because it looks like fins.
Yeah.
It looks like a dead fish falling.
And then it's making noise.
Well, it must make a little noise.
Anything moving, it's going to make noise.
Yeah. Right? But that's why I was like, what we'll do is like, usually one guy's always with a rip and wrap.
Yeah.
Just ripping it.
They got beads in them, don't they?
Yeah. They got beads. And you're just making noise and they come and smack it. It's kind of hard to go away from those when they work.
Yeah.
But spoons work, buckshots work, just a minnow works. I mean, it kind of depends on the day, which is why you bring a bunch and you test them.
Yeah.
And when you find that color, then you stick to it, and then you're just smacking fish. But it's ridiculous. I'm super excited for this trip.
Yeah.
It's my favorite every year. The greenbacks are so green. It's crazy.
And I asked you that because you send a lot of those pictures and they're green. I'm like, okay, the phone picks it up.
Oh,
the camera picks it up, but are they greener in real person?
They're greener in person. Yeah. I wish the phone I would pick it up better because it's just they're like
it kind of gets washed out when you're on the ice.
Very emerald.
Okay.
Very like
and I think
it's green, and some are whiter, some are darker, and some are just less like vivid green, and you can really see that lateral line in them.
Yeah,
a lot more, and the bottom's all limestone, is what they say.
Yeah,
I'm not a geologist. But
no, I've heard that too, and I heard that it's the reason for the greening is I think there's phosphorus in that water, and it might be limestone. I don't know.
And the water's a little green.
Okay,
it's like maybe I'm just delusional, but I see a little tint to it.
But a lake of the woods,
they
come out and
muddy, they're dark.
Well, they look like the forest.
Yeah,
they're like, oh man,
they're brown and gold, and
they got all sorts of colors on them.
Yeah, but you'll get some big sauger up there. The sauger maintain their normal sauger color on Lake Winnipeg.
Oh, Lake Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's sauger up there.
All right.
And there's perch and there's really big pike. There's like they say there's like 60 inches in there. I've never caught one, but they say there is.
I think they mean centimeters.
But there's
they get confused on the metric system.
I told you this like last year on the last day, the stem for the reel on my dad's, he set the hook on something, it snapped it.
Oh God.
Snapped the reel.
So that might have been.
And I don't even
clearly a state record, maybe world record.
We'll say it was a world record.
Absolutely, you don't
probably
know.
Like a 42-inch walleye. Yeah. We'll say that it was
fishing. It's not like you're moving it's not like a snag, not like you hit.
Because what it was is I saw his bottom triple in size, and just on his Vexilar, just went red, and then boom, and then it was smack, and I drove down to grab the deucer, and then I'm like, "Why aren't you reeling?" And I look back, and he's like holding his rod and reel in pieces, and the line's all broke, and it's just like it didn't break, but it was all like when it unravels because the reel broke off, and I'm like, what'd you hook into? He's like, it must have been a rare propane tank under there.
Are you spinning gear, or do you do that? You know the ones that are.
Oh no,
you don't do those.
The drop downs. No,
not a fan.
We just have the goods.
You get the spins.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've seen guys use that, and they don't like it's a line twist thing, right? For them, is that more of a panfish deal?
I think it's more of a panfish deal.
Okay.
I have never fished with one. I've seen guys that do, and I've seen videos about people they like it because then it like drops faster. Mm-hmm. Or I think it's more of like a crappie, bluegill sunfish thing, which I've never like fished for bluegill that aren't just like I'm trying to like bring my little cousins out and teach them how to fish. Or we have a spot, and those are fun to catch for kids.
Yeah.
But like apparently there's some lakes that just have just like fat ones.
Yeah, the crappies too. They're a hoot. They're fun. There's people that are all about the blue. Whatever species it is, give more power to you, man. That's great.
Have you seen those ones down south that they get like this?
The bluegills.
No, I'm not seeing them that big.
They're like in Georgia. They look like a dinner plate, and they get so fat, and they're not very like wide, but they're just like tall.
Okay.
They're weird looking things. It's this one lake that has them, or even a couple lakes down south. They just get like 5 pounds. They're huge.
Well, you know who's a big panfish guy? And Dave Gens.
Oh,
And he's the clam guy.
yep.
I mean, very good fisherman, can fish and catch anything, but he's the flip over guy. I think he invented that.
Oh yeah,
Well, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I think he's one of those first guys.
He's a fish dude all the way, 100%. So that's kind of his first. That's his
My
go-to
dad's
fish.
he likes the panfish.
Yeah. When you get into them, it's just action.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hammer out 100 of them.
No.
Literally.
Yeah. Crappie fish. I like crappie fishing. I think it's really fun because it's very finessey. You have to be very technical with your. You can't just rip a thing
You
after
can't.
them. That's how
You
I
can't
was
just
taught.
tag them.
No.
You know, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I remember we went the first time. I was just mad because my dad's out fishing me like he always does, and I'm sitting there just trying to, walleye techniques. That's all I know, fishing like the woods, and just trying to rip them and stuff. But no, there was one. I mean, I think this is such a good story. There's one time on Lake of the Woods, we're in the U.S. side. We found this reef and we were doing bottom bouncers. We'd kind of drift. And we caught 7 different species.
Oh, wow.
All using the same, just gold spinner, bottom bouncer with a worm.
What were they?
We caught walleye, sauger. We caught crappies, which is crazy. Big crappies. We caught northerns. And then we caught perch. And I think we caught like a tulipy or a sucker or something. We were just hammering the fish. We caught every species in that.
Just that whole, they're all hanging out there.
And we just would go over.
That's cool.
And drift across. And I was using like a bigger, like kind of spinner, I guess. And I was just catching like pigs that we couldn't keep. Catching like 22s over and over again. My dad's like, "You want to downsize? We can like get your limit here." I'm like, "No, this is fun."
That's funny when you're in a boat. I've been up there to Lake of the Woods for opener before, and you're with the
it
guy.
was a holiday.
Yeah, and it is.
Especially up north.
I mean, and you're catching all these big fish, and then you're getting people are giving you a hard time because you're catching 22. You're catching, you can't keep them, right? Like we need something to eat.
It's like
concentrate on. How do I concentrate on that? What do I do? I go to a quarter ounce. I mean, what do I do? What do you want me to do? Smaller bait? I mean, it's so funny. But guys say it, and they kind of mean it. Jesus, stop catching the big ones. We need something to eat tonight. Shut up.
It's fishing. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. And thanks for asking me to come on. And we made it happen, man. Yeah. I just noticed that.
This is the merch.
You got the antlers and then the hook.
Yeah,
that's clever.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a logo for the longest time. Had like an elk skull.
Yeah,
and I was like, I hunt and fish.
No, that's good. So I just caught that like right now.
Yeah.
Like, that is okay. Yeah. You should probably pinch those barbs down. If you actually if you go to Canada with that, you should pinch the barbs down.
Yeah, maybe I'll like
put a little blue in there.
Yeah,
do that.
Well, thank you, Brian.
No, cool, man.
It's been a good episode. A little longer than usual, but thank you guys for watching. Catch us on YouTube and all your other ones for audio. So,
right on, man.
Have a good day.
And we'll talk more. Boom.
We'll be talking fishing the rest of the day, but